All right, welcome everybody to the David Araki podcast. And tonight we have a very special guest, Sharon. Sharon, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Sharon Kim. I know David from high school. I am currently a cosmetologist working at I don't know if I should say my job, Mojo. I mean, everyone knows Mojo Barbershop. And I do everything like girls, guys, hair, color, cut.
Yeah,
Yep.
how are you not gonna like tell everybody where you work? I mean, like you have like an
I
Instagram page dedicated to like you working at that place at
I know.
Mojo's.
I guess
And
it's the opposite because, like, I assume most of the people that will be clicking onto this are probably either somebody you know or I know, and I just like they would obviously know that I'm at Mojo Barbershop, but I feel like because I'm so used to at work, like trying not to, like, tell too much of my personal life, like just in case because
yeah.
I'm a woman, unfortunately. I'm so used to that. So like I get really scared or I got really nervous just now, like doing it but in the reverse because now people already know who I am. And
Mm, yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
but
I
yeah,
mean,
I'm at Mojo Barbershop. Come find me.
yeah, schedule your appointment and give her a follow on Instagram. Is that all you have? Like your socials and everything?
Yep, just
Just
Instagram. I do pretty much all my like consultations before I actually see the person through that. I mean, I have an email, but I've rarely been asked for like, "Hey, can I contact you through email?"
yeah, like email. That's like dinosaur mail. Like that's like, snail mail's like, first cousin or something. I have no idea.
No, I
Like,
think it's true because I'm not like constantly, I do get updates for when I get the email, but I'm not constantly reading my email. So I only check it like once a day. So I don't get it as quickly as if I were to get a DM on Instagram.
oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna be special and I'm gonna be one of your like clients that like will schedule appointments all through email. Or better yet, I'll just like, handwrite letters and then have the wax seal and like the stamp and everything and just send it there.
And then
Just
you
be
show
like,
up for your appointment and realize that you showed up earlier than the mail actually showed up.
yeah, so like I ordered like sheets like a month ago. I'm not gonna say the brand, like they've been very accommodating and everything. But yeah, it's like a month and it's like it's not here yet. Like
What
Jesus,
are you,
like
sponsored by this company?
no. I'm not sponsored by them. I mean,
Oh,
they're just sheets, like
I was about to say, like, unless you're being sponsored by these people, you think that they're gonna be like, David Araki said that our sheets take too damn long to be delivered to Hawaii.
hey, you never know, like they very well could be a sponsor. I think they sponsor other people.
Hey,
Oh.
Anonymous Sheets sponsor David.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take any sponsors really. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna accept a sponsor that I don't, like their product or whatever service they're providing. Like I
Okay,
don't know.
but in real, in I was about to say in realistic, realistically, like everyone has. I am a believer, which doesn't make it truth. I have to be so PC because I know that at least one other person's gonna listen to this. Um, I am a believer that everyone has a price for no matter what. Like, if you give them a good enough price, and not just saying like monetary, like like granting a reasonable wish, everyone has a price to making them do something they say like I would never ever. So
Mm,
so let's say XYZ company comes to you and goes, "Hey, sponsor us, blah, blah, blah," and you're like, "I already know I hate them. I've tried them, like tried and true. I hate them." Like, but they were like, "What is the money amount they would have to offer you for you to fake that you love them to your audience?"
oh, it depends on the product though. Like,
Okay, like a gummy bear that, like, I feel like frick, I feel like you're gonna get sued. Let's not go down that road.
Oh, I
Like
mean, I thought you were gonna. Okay, so honestly, like I know a lot of like people that are doing like those gummy, like side
vitamin thing.
hustle. Oh,
Yeah,
vitamins.
right.
Oh, okay. Well, if the vitamins work, I wouldn't mind
No,
like
they don't.
they
They
don't
don't.
work,
Like
and
let's
like
say it's like a energy vitamin and they say like 2 times better than coffee, and you drink your fair amount of coffee, you're like, this don't do anything like coffee. How much would they have to give you for you to be like, this is double coffee when you know it's not?
no, I wouldn't be able to do it. Not for this podcast. I mean, like the goal of this podcast is to like be more authentic. So
10
yeah, at
mil. 10
10
mil.
mil. Ooh, that's it? No, I'm just kidding. 10 mil, 10 mil is like a pretty good starting
10 mil.
price
10
for
mil
it's just
shitty
that like
coffee.
for shitty coffee or shitty like caffeine pills or
Yeah.
energy pills or whatever you're saying.
Yeah.
Uh I would oh that's a tough one because 10 mil is a lot of money and
That's what
like
I'm saying. There is a number. It may be obscene and like not reasonable, but there is a number you would do it for.
because honestly for that like product I would probably accept much less than 10 mil.
That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
like
But
everyone has a number. So 10 mil, would you advertise shitty energy pills?
I mean if they work but they're shitty, I
See,
don't
look at you
know.
trying to find
Like
loopholes to be
like
able to
like
be.
like I would want to take it, but then like I just have like a hard time recommending things that I know like don't really work or stuff that I don't believe in. Like all of my recommendations are things that I do, or like I don't even like giving out recommendations. Like who am I kidding? Like I just don't want to be liable for something happening because oh David said to do this or something. So it's
Right.
like yeah,
That
it's
one's
rough.
that one's a that one's a 1 billion for you then at minimum.
Yeah, we'll go with a billion. Yeah, that's a
Promote.
that's a good starting point, and then they can talk to my lawyer and we can work something out.
Oh God. Yeah, well, I would promote shitty vitamin energizer pills for, I want a salary. Like I want them to pay me every month like X amount. Maybe like I'll take to put my name on the line and have the potential of like losing credibility. I'll lose it for 10K a month.
10K a month. Hey, that's not bad. 120,000 a year.
No,
Like
till the day I die.
yeah, I mean like 120 grand. That's like just increasing your like yearly, I guess like income by 100 grand. Like that's pretty good. But then it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's like I don't know. I consider myself like pretty into like fitness and health and everything, and it's like it it'll be different like now versus like later because like if I get into med school, like it'd be very hard for me to recommend the product that doesn't work. Like I
Right.
feel like that'd be like a huge like conflict of interest.
I just realized too, I'm a professional hairstylist. Eventually later on, if I get successful and I like to get sponsored or like a company, I'm like their educator, and then this comes up and they're like, this educator promotes X, Y, and Z company, but she said long time ago that
That
if she got paid enough, she would lie.
That's like so funny because like you're just gonna have a whole bunch of like 10 grand a month offers lined up. Like, oh, this chick is cheap. Like her net worth might be like in the millions, and we can just buy her off for 10 grand a month. Like, what is that? Like, that's
Oh
nothing.
God, I just screwed myself over in every contract ever now.
Oh, it's okay. No, that's the starting point. Like, so you can just tell them that, oh, that was like 10 years ago. Like, not
Base pay.
yeah. No, that was like 10 years ago. So that's like null and void. Like now I'm at 100 grand like a month. So you better
Yeah.
start. Better
Whatever that
start.
year, the difference of that year to now, I want to multiply it by that and some.
Yeah. It's it's like that like math thing they made us do as little kids. I don't know if they made you guys do it in like your elementary school, but it was like a would you rather take like $1 million or would you rather have like a penny like the first day and then have that double like,
Oh, the lottery question. Like, would you want all your money now and pay tax, or do you want to get all of the money but like over X amount of years?
You know, that's like a good question because I hear like both sides of it. Because like if you take the lump sum, you just pay the fat tax on it one time, but you don't have to worry about like, the lottery company or like the state or whatever like not paying you.
Mm.
But then like if you take like the monthly like installments or whatever, like I think you make more money in the end, but
Who's to say you'll make it to the end?
yeah, like, what if they decide to like, hire like a hitman or something and they're like, oh, we don't want to pay this, person anymore. Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but I try to keep it a little PG.
Oh, very
13.
not like you.
Yeah, I know, I know. Like,
I cut David's hair, and our conversations in the chair are usually let's just say a little more entertaining.
yeah, I'm surprised that like I'm not banned from that place yet. No, let's not say that. Let's not.
Yes, his
We're
his
giving
volume
people,
of his voice are sometimes just a little too loud.
yeah, we're giving people like the wrong ideas of like stuff we talk about. Like,
No, whatever you're thinking, it's probably true.
so yeah, I mean, we've known each other since high school, actually like middle school or something, huh?
No, middle
Like,
school, yeah.
yeah, that's
Who did you
crazy.
have for history class? Or social
History,
studies? Social studies.
I don't okay. That's like one weird thing too. Like I never understood why social studies was like a history course. Like
Is
seventh grade, I had Shimomai.
Wait, did everyone have Shimomai? They did,
No,
yeah.
it's either you had her or who's the other one?
I can't.
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, didn't we go to close up together?
yeah. We went to DC together. That
Yeah,
was that was an adventure. Like
it was. It
I
was a
just
bunch of
remember.
schools asking our school whether we canoed to school and how we have internet and what electricity power, like, do we have electricity? Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I mean, can you blame them? Like, look at all the photos from like the last 2 weeks from all the rain. Like, can you really blame them for assuming that we canoe or like surf to like work or school
David,
or
very
whatever?
different. So different. First off, tragedy.
Yes.
Haleiwa, we
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
for you, but
I mean, I don't mean to like offend anybody whenever I make jokes like these or anything, but
let me just disclaimer.
yeah, no, I
Um,
mean, like comedy, like
but
whenever you're trying to be funny, it's like the goal is always to be funny. Like my
yes.
goal isn't ever to like offend anybody or like hurt anybody's feelings or anything. But yeah, it's just to have good fun and like
Yeah, but when we went
yeah,
to
I do understand it sucks for all those people.
no, but like back to the original story, the on the DC trip, I remember there was a kid who came up to me, and I shit you not, he asked me, "What do I wear when I'm in Hawaii?" And I was like, "What
Did you
does
mess with
that?"
him?
No, because I truly didn't. I mean, I'm so sheltered, like culturally. Like at least you went to school in the mainland, or sorry, the States. So I didn't know what he was talking about, and I was like, oh, we have a so I thought he was talking because we have school uniforms, and that was a pretty newer thing when we were going to middle school. And then he was like, oh, like, do you have a tea leaf skirt? And I was like, shut the hell up. These people think that, first of all, I am so Asian. For whoever doesn't know what I look like, I'm like Asian. Like, sorry, I don't know what that means. But like, I look really Korean. So I was like, he thinks that I would walk around in a tea leaf skirt and coconut bra and like a plumeria in my hair. And I was like so shocked. And I was like, we have like paved roads and we have one of the biggest outdoor malls on our island. Like, and it was just like so crazy to me. Like, were you not culture shocked when you went to DC?
Uh, honestly, like, okay, the thing about that trip I remember the most is Philadelphia. I just thought it sucked. Like it was so wet
I
and
loved
so cold
Philadelphia.
and like uh, no, it was just like not fun because it was just like wet and cold and I was just like, this is just no fun.
But Philadelphia has
And
all the cool museums,
yeah,
man.
I mean like I don't want to say anything about the people there. No, I'm just kidding. That was a bad bad
Canceled.
joke. Bad joke.
Canceled.
Bad joke. That was a bad joke. No, people in Philadelphia, in my opinion, are very proud of their city.
Mm, that's true. Which is,
Yeah.
I like that kind of
Like
stuff.
I think out of all the cities that I've been to, and I feel like I've been to a fair amount. I mean, I definitely love to go to more, but like yeah, they were definitely the proudest people in my opinion.
Okay, but is that a con or a pro? Because in my opinion, I feel like it's a pro. Like I feel like living in a place where you're proud to be says a lot about the place, no?
I mean, yes, like I mean, they're very good sports fans and everything. Like,
Oh, we're
when
not
was
we're not
when
fans
was the
of the
last?
state. We're fans of the Eagles.
Yeah, yeah. When was the last time they won like a Super Bowl or like
Oh,
probably pretty
wow.
recent. But
Wow. Just
no, we're
just
not roasting them. We're not roasting
dig
them today.
deeper.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll hit Philadelphia.
Yeah, you just gotta like really commit to the joke sometimes, Like, do you know who Bill Burr is?
No.
So he's a
Should I?
comedian. He's a comedian, and
Okay.
he's famous for like doing a roast of the entire city of Philadelphia. Like, you should definitely like check it out on like your free time. Like, it's I don't know. I think it's entertaining. It's like he just loses it, and then like he just like roasts like the living.
Is this like his thing though? Like his comedy is roasting people?
No, 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 no. Like he
Oh.
was like the story I heard because like I followed up on that story. He was like, yeah, like the crowd was just a bunch of a-holes, and then he was just like, oh, I'm just gonna do this because they like pretty much booed all the other comics off the stage before.
Wow.
Yeah, he was on stage. So
That's a ballsy audience.
hey, it's even ballsier to like roast them like
I
when
mean,
the
he's
crowd
about to
is
get
already
booed off
against
the
you.
stage regardless. So,
Yeah.
dude,
No, but he killed it. I thought he killed it. Like after the fact, everybody was like laughing and cheering afterwards. So I guess he killed it.
that's good.
Yeah,
It's
like
I always ask when people tell me like, "Oh, this comedian's so good," um, because X whatever, and then I always ask, or I asked why, if all of his material is like roasting stuff, because I I am definitely the minority, but I can't handle like I can only handle so much sarcasm when it's kind of leaning towards just making straight up making fun of people. Like I know it's like, like playing and all that stuff, but like I feel like that's why I can't follow like uh there's like a Instagram, I don't want to name stuff. I just so nervous. There's like an Instagram page in Hawaii that like highlights crazy slash junk stuff that happened in Hawaii, and it's like a viral video, like locally viral videos they'll post, and I can't follow them because like a majority of their story is like making fun of the homeless or like highlighting shitty parts of certain shitty people in the island. That's such as a bad mood, and I can only take so much of it.
no, I think that's like good advice for most people out there. Like, no, I mean like there's just so much negativity out there in the world, and you can only like handle so much in any given day, right? So
Yeah.
it's like if you're getting a lot of negativity from like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, maybe stepping away is probably like, a wise decision.
Yeah. I
Nah, it's
mean,
good to be outraged.
oh man, is that ever
No, no, no,
true?
no, no. I don't like to be outraged. To me, like I don't want to be mad over things that like aren't, within like arm's reach, if that makes any
Mm,
sense. Like like if it's like not in front of me at any given time, I try my best not to stress out about it.
that makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, granted, I'm only 27 years old. Like I don't even know like if I'm living life like properly or anything. Like still trying to figure it out.
I was watching something on TikTok that was talking about like
You use
the
TikTok?
reason. Oh, hell yeah. Savage love. It's a break your heart. No? Okay. It's okay.
No, I
Um
don't have a TikTok. Like I don't TikTok. Don't watch TikTok. I do know some of the viral stuff that has been on TikTok though.
okay, wait. I want to ask you, where did you
Okay.
see that viral stuff?
I'll see it like on YouTube. Sometimes they'll make its way to Instagram.
Oh, you are just
other
like
podcasts will show some stuff
you
from
are just
TikTok.
like my fiance. You watch TikTok on Instagram. Do you understand that
Yeah.
there's
Well, it's like I don't. There's so many like new platforms out there. It's like,
it
oh
is
man,
there
it's like
is.
it's getting overwhelming, and like
That's why when you told me that you were sending it to me through Facebook, I was like, I don't know if I've logged on to my Facebook in so long that if it asks me to log on because I haven't been on for so long, I'm not gonna remember the username or password to that thing.
see, like I had the idea of sending it to your business email as like a joke, but then like you just confirmed like that was like a good idea not doing that because you only check it like
Yeah,
once
I
in the
would
morning or
I
something.
would never see it. This podcast does not exist.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I just no, so anyways, backtrack. I saw a TikTok talking about why turning 30 for most people feels like a trigger, like like something's like, oh shoot, like some mostly in like a negative way, like,
like
and it's
I'm
because
effing old now.
yeah, it's because the reality of getting old is real now. Cause like when you're a little kid and you think about getting old, it's like, oh my god, like that's eons away. There's no way I would ever be that wrinkly and tired and in pain constantly.
I You already have body pains and stuff. Yeah, late 20s is rough. Like everybody says, like oh, your late 20s, like it's like your prime years and
Yeah, it's the
everything.
beginning.
But I'm broke. Like my body hurts all the time, and now there's a freaking global pandemic. Like you're trying to tell me that your late 20s are your golden years or whatever.
Boo.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But now, as a late in our late 20s, I do feel like, man, that wrinkle wasn't there before. Like, I definitely could last a lot longer on a night of alcohol. Like, the next morning wasn't as rough. And like, saving up for like a future child becomes more like realistic too, and you're like, shit, this is stuff that I never thought would get here so fast, and then you realize, man, 50, 60, 70, 80, that's not far off.
You're already thinking about 60 and 70 before you hit 30. Like,
Oh
geez.
shit, is this just me? Am I the only one that's
Well,
freaking out about?
I don't know. Like, I feel like I had that like turning 27. Like, okay, when I just remember like when I was like really young, maybe like 12, 11 or so, I used to think like 19-year-olds are like old, like futs and everything. So
Oh
I'm
my
just
god,
like,
you're
oh
so
my god.
weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when you're that young, you're like, oh my god, like a teenager, like that's so old. Like a 19-year-old, like that seems so far. But then now it's like, oh, I'm 27, and it's like, oh, it's 3 years to 30. And then
Mm-mm-mm.
I mean, I feel like it's different for single guys out there versus like, people that are engaged.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Like,
because now it's like, especially now knowing like, because I think it is a variable. Like, not every person is meant to have children, and not every person is meant to. Once you get together, like that future is not always like a path for everyone. But because I am okay with having children, and he is also very when the time is to have children too, now I'm like, this is for real gonna happen eventually. But when I was single, I was like, hey, maybe I don't have kids, or maybe I don't even get married.
no, I totally get
So
you. I mean, you definitely like crush the hopes and dreams of a lot of single people out there. But like, it's I'm very happy that, you found somebody that you're like compatible with and everything. Cuz like, yeah, I mean, I feel like especially in your like 20s, like a lot of people I feel like don't really necessarily know themselves yet, or
mm,
they're still trying to like figure out like, huh, like how do I want to live my life? Like what is it, that I want in my life moving forward?
mm.
Like,
Yeah. Ooh, quarter life crisis.
oh yeah, I definitely had that. I probably had that when I was like 18 or something. It's probably why I went a little crazy when I had a little bit too much fun in undergrad.
Oh man, I can't. Did I? Did what? What was crazy for you? Was it like how many different things you experienced in such a short amount of time, or was it how much you learned in a short amount of time?
Well, for
I
me it
guess it's the
was,
same thing.
I mean for me like Creighton was the only school I applied to. Like I had it in my head that like I'm gonna get away from like here.
Uh-huh.
And then I just applied, got in, and then when I got there, it was like my first time away from home, first time away from my family, like not living with my parents anymore and everything.
Mm.
And it's like partially navigating that, but then at the same time, like I don't know, like I was dealing with a lot of stuff in high school, and it felt like the first time I it was the first time I felt normal, or like first time I felt like
Oh,
a 18 or like a 19-year-old, like how an 18 or 19-year-old should feel. And like I think I just overindulged a little, and like I should have studied more. I partied a lot, you know, life experiences.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you felt like that, but did you feel better once you, like, hindsight now, did that help moving away, or was it?
Um, I think it helped. Uh, I think everybody should try to like move somewhere new, like somewhere where they didn't necessarily grow up. Like yeah,
Mm,
just try something new. Like you start to realize that the world is a lot bigger than you knew before.
I
Cuz
like
like
that.
yeah, I mean for like the long I mean I already knew like the world was pretty big. Like I traveled a fair amount when I was like younger and everything. But then it's like a completely different animal when, you're out there alone, no parents, like, nobody really. All you have is like yourself and maybe like a few friends. Like it's completely different. So,
Yeah, there's that whole thing that people keep saying where they're like, "Oh, nothing matters because we're a dot in like an empty galaxy. We're little specks in a gianter universe of shit that we don't even know yet. So like everything you do in the aspect of like don't be afraid to try new things and new endeavors and tell the person you love them and blah blah blah, is because it doesn't matter, because one day poof you disappear and like whatever you believe that happens and all that stuff. But in this time frame that you're in, like it's such a small dot in like the grander scheme of things. And it's like, I feel like everyone who's traveled and lived somewhere else, they all unanimously say, they all say the same advice. They're like, I think that everybody should live somewhere else in their life. So it must really mean that,
everybody should move and live
yeah,
somewhere else. Yeah.
exactly. Like, because it's not like the same kind of people that are moving and living in different, there's people in different walks of life and, you know, and they all say the same thing. It must mean that there's something that makes that speck in the universe just a little brighter by living somewhere else and making yourself more aware of everything around that's in the universe. It's getting super like stony talk, but
No, no, no. I don't think like existential like talk is all that like stony or anything. Like I think it's like something that's always there in like the back of our minds and everything.
Mm,
Like the the knowledge that we're gonna die someday, and
right.
it's like what is this, like what is our life, like what is the meaning of life,
Mm,
like I mean I feel like I have like my own answer for it, and like I don't know, I'll tell people and they think I'm nuts and everything. Like
uh-huh.
like to me like it's like what you make of it. Like you have to like you need to find like a purpose, or you just need to find something that you want to achieve in and just do it. Because like in my opinion, like what distinguishes you from a speck that like fades away as time carries on, is like the lasting impacts that you leave. And
Right.
it's like it could be even something as like simple as like your relationships with like your friends and family and everything, just like spreading out the good
I
vibes,
agree.
or like the positivity, and making the lives around of those around you better and everything. But then it also goes into like the whole like, what is it do I want to do with my life, like for me right now, late 20s, like don't really have like a real job or anything right now, still in school. It's like
Mhm.
what do I want my life to mean? And I think like your 20s is like time to think about it, start like outlining those plans so that you can make your dreams or goals a reality or whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. I think like if you go to like I guess simplifying like logically why we would be as like functioning humans as we are the way we are instead of being like I don't know bugs or monkeys or all the other creatures and us being like quote unquote the most intelligent creature to roam planet Earth is like, isn't it strange to think we're all born same skeleton, same kind like same blood flows, our functions are typically most of it works exactly the same. Maybe not guys and girls, but you know what I mean.
Mm.
But everyone is like instead of like monkeys where like everyone is like every monkey is somewhat like predictable, and if you study one monkey it's generally all monkeys, right? But like if you studied one human, that couldn't explain to you what another human is going to react to the same stimulant is, right? But
Mm.
our ability that differentiates us from like animals, I feel like we can study and we can talk and we can communicate. So I feel like the broader spectrum of like why we're here is to be able to like meet as many people as possible and touch as many lives like in a positive way, and then like narrowing that down into like your purpose, quote unquote, in life is this: what skill set were you particularly given to be able to do that job, you know, to be able to meet as many people and be a positive effect in. Because me and you, I feel like, are a great example because I'm definitely not book smart, and I feel like I couldn't relate to someone who's really smart. But if I talk to someone about their hair or how they should do it, I can definitely get further with that guy with hair than I could ever with talking about molecular structures, you know?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like something that's undervalued as well. Like I feel like most people should definitely try to like really get to know people around you. Like
Yeah.
what I've realized is like most people don't even really know like people that like around them. Like they just say like, oh, oh, that's just Sharon. She's just a hairstylist, and that's it. Like
Yeah.
they don't
And that's
realize that
enough
you
for them.
yeah, they don't realize that you have a personality and you have like, ideas and opinions and thoughts and everything that make you you. Like it's I feel like yeah, maybe our society is like, into like labels and stuff. I don't know. But like yeah, I totally agree with what you just said. Like, sit down and get to know people. Like that's kind of a
Yeah.
goal of this podcast. Like if I could have all 7 billion people on earth on this podcast, like that'd be great.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
you're willing to do this podcast with whoever and, you know, spend time, whether it, you know, there's no guarantee it's not going to be awkward and not hard for you to continue the conversation, and but you still are willing to talk to people about it, which is also why I love my job, because that's literally all I do all day. I have random people come sit in my chair and we just talk about anything they want to talk about or anything that's on my mind, and I get to pick someone's brain for like 30 to however long, you know.
Yeah, I remember like one of the first times I saw you, I was like, "Oh, I'm onto your like little scheme here. You just like sit people down for an hour, and then you get to hang out with friends for an
Blackmail.
hour."
Oh, no.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Wait. So who did you blackmail? Where?
Like
I,
secretly video
are
video
there?
recording.
But yeah, like you have a super cool job that it's like mostly your friends and stuff coming in to get their hair
Yes.
done, and it's like you get to hang out. There's not many jobs out there where you can hang out with your friends.
And that being a like a money bringing, I mean, I'm so grateful that I have amazing friends, including you, that like are willing to spend like a pretty penny to come get their hair done by me. I mean, given I do give stellar haircuts that are worth every
Whoa,
of those
whoa! Let's not get too carried. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you
every
cut
one
hair
of those
very good.
yeah, every one of those shiny pennies are worth it with my cut. But also like I make a living off of this too. I mean, they're not all my friends. I do have like people that have become friends through this business, but I I always tell people cutting hair is my hobby, but my job is I get to hang out with people all day, and there's no limit to who I could meet in my chair. Like no barrier, no. I think that's so cool. Like I have girls, guys, I have straight people, gay people, like XYZ people, like every kind, and I get to talk to them and pick their brain, and I it's kind of crazy. I will say I do feel like we were talking about this like a little earlier, but I feel like I have a magic chair. Like I'll like even me and you. I think me and David didn't talk for maybe like how many years? 4, 5, 6 years?
About 5 years or so.
Yeah, like we
Yeah,
hadn't talked maybe like in Instagram, like random like comment on a picture here and
and
there,
that's
like
it. Yeah.
once every other year. But he came in, he sit down, and immediately, just like as if we had seen each other yesterday, it was so easy to talk. And that's what happens in my chair. Like people I barely know or have only cut their hair once or twice, we're like best friends, and they'll tell me things that like I'm pretty sure they don't tell their wives, or they don't tell like their best friends or their boss. And I'm like this secret vault that gets to hold all of it. And what other job does that besides like maybe like a unmentionable
Psychiatrist.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, that too.
Yeah, I don't know. Like psychiatry is like something I've always been kind of interested in, for
I
that
think
very
you'd be
same reason.
great. Yeah.
But but it's just that like most of the time, in that setting, most people aren't telling you about the good things in their life. Like it's dealing with a lot of
Mm.
negativity.
Okay, so it's interesting you actually bring that up because I've talked about this before with one of my clients. He actually straight up just asked me, like, I mean, not just out of nowhere, but he was like, does this job ever get depressing? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, because most people I assumed who talk to you are talking about their problems, or like talking about like the shitty thing that happened at work the other day. And I'm like, I've never thought of it as depressing or sad or like hard to do, because there's some magic, dude. I sound like some like Disney princess, but there's some magic that happens, and something like empowering about someone feeling good about how they look, and like how they see themselves in a physical mirror, that changes their outlook on a shitty situation. Like if you heard my conversation at the beginning of the appointment, when they have like their hair is long and like messy, and they don't like how it looks, and they start talking about their bad day, in correlation to as their hair starts looking nicer, their outlook on the situation also starts like evolving. And it's happened to me many, many times, that I am such a strong believer of like, there is I had a client who said there's no one that you should be more scared of, or no one that's more confident than a gay after his haircut. And I think that just goes across the board, not just gays, but just like everyone who's ever gotten a haircut and liked what it looked like something in you clicks, and you're more confident, and you're more optimistic about things. And that happens in my chair all the time. Like, and I think that's why I've never been like, oh, my job is hard because I listen to people's problems all day.
Yeah. Damn, I thought I was special. No. Well, I mean, but I think that's like, I don't think it's necessarily your chair, but I think it's just who you are as a person. Like
Aw,
you're very approachable and easy to
David,
talk to.
do you
Oh,
think so?
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like you're still very like friendly. Like, I don't think, I don't want to make it sound bad, but I feel like, not much, I don't know. I thought you were like a great person in high school and you're a great person
No, okay, in true honesty, like dude, kindergarten to like honestly senior year, I feel like the one thing that always bugged me was whenever I met someone initially, to when they got comfortable with me, something people would always say would be, you know, when I first met you, I actually thought you're really scary. And I've
Huh.
gotten that my whole life, like from when I was like a baby in kindergarten. Like I remember Shane Fukunaga. Yeah, Shane Fukunaga. I'm talking to you. I remember he used to be so scared of me, but I was like in love with the guy. Like I used to write him Valentine's cards and tell him like I'm gonna marry you. Okay, yeah, maybe I was pretty scary, but like, but you know what I mean? Like I like adored the guy, but he thought I was scary. So I feel like my whole life people have been like, "Oh, you're like really intimidating like on first meet." But yo, everyone, announcement, Sharon Kim loves making friends. And I'm not as scary as you think I am. Maybe my RBF is just too strong.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I just always thought like you're a very friendly person. Like I don't know.
Oh, did you really?
I don't think I ever was like intimidated by you or anything.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
honestly probably one of the nicest thing I've ever heard. I
Uh,
I really do get so sensitive when people are like, when I first met you, I thought you'd be really scary." And I'd be like, I don't want people to think I'm scary. Like I like talking to people, and I mean, I feel like you're a true testament to like you're pretty you honestly don't BS a lot and you tell things like it is. So you saying that I'm an approachable person and easy to talk to does mean a lot because I feel like that means it's true.
yeah, I mean, I get into a lot of trouble for being like too blunt sometimes, but like
Oh.
yeah,
Once again, audience, the stuff that's being said in my chair, not on this podcast, you don't
that's
want
the
to
real
hear David's
spicy
story.
stuff. Like I'm telling you, like you got to just get like a microphone and then like that's like your podcast right there. Granted
And I
like you're
immediately lose my job.
I mean like I thought your employer was like pretty like cool about it and everything.
No, I think, okay, so it's not that I think she would get mad. Do you not think that the things people say when nobody's watching is a lot more juicier than what they would say when someone is watching, right? Like, I feel like once I turn a camera or a mic on, it wouldn't be as fun as it naturally usually is.
I don't know, like I'm having just as much okay, well, not just as much fun, but like I'm having fun right now. Like it's definitely more fun to like have conversations in person.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah. I
But
mean
I
in
also
this
feel like this is a
aspect.
very unique situation. I don't also BS a lot either. So I feel like this is truly how we talk. But I know so many people that, like, especially, okay, not to call out guys, but certain guys, I know if they know the girl they like is watching or listening, they are a completely different person. And like, I feel like that's the same effect that happens for certain people with like knowing that people they don't know are listening to them. So they like have to put up this like persona. Like, tell me, girl you like is watching you. Do you lift weights the same?
Uh, yeah, honestly, I do. Like, well, I mean, when I'm lifting weights, like sometimes I think like, oh, there's a guy with a gun to my back, and he's telling me that if I don't lift this weight, he's gonna pull the trigger. Yeah, I
Why?
mean, I don't
Why?
know. I mean, I don't know. I just that's like a motivator for me. Like, I
Oh,
don't
oh,
know.
you're imagining it not as like anxiety, but just like a motivation to lift the weight.
Yeah, or like if I'm running, I'll be like, oh, I need to make it to like that stop sign before that car behind me does, or else like
Oh,
they're gonna kill me
wow.
or something.
Dude, you know what's really weird is you saying that totally explains the way you or I feel like you go about school. Like,
Okay, like okay, let's like see. Okay, what do you think? How do you think I go about school? Like this
I,
is curious. I'm curious now.
I feel like you're not satisfied unless you beat that car to the stop sign. And there's no in between. Like, that's what I think. I think you're all or nothing. Like you're not proud of yourself or you don't think that you've done enough unless you've beat that car.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's kind of true. But like, even if I beat the car, I still feel like it's not enough. Like, oh,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
That's
it's like it's like oh, I could have got here faster or something. Like,
yeah.
Like I don't know,
I didn't know that.
yeah, and honestly, like in my brain, like the way it works is like there's no winning. Like
There's only trying.
no. There's no trying. Like even if I win, it's like, oh, that's great, Like, but like, I always try to nitpick and think of how I could have like played better if it's like a sport or something.
Mm. Like if you
Um,
got 100 out of 100 on a test,
I can
oh,
tell you now,
you
like I almost never get hundreds out of hundreds on exams.
really? That is
Yeah,
actually
believe
pretty
it.
hard to believe.
No, I'm being
You think if
completely
you
honest.
tried, I feel like these are like if you like these are all tests that you've actually tried on.
You got me there. Okay, honestly, like, oh man, my I have a lot of close friends that listen to this, but like honestly, like the last time I feel like I tried on an exam, like as much as I thought that I could, was probably my AP Bio exam in high school.
Why? Why
I
that
don't
one?
know. It was kind of like a pride thing. Like I just really wanted to get a 5, and then walking out of that exam, like I already knew that I got that 5. I don't know. Maybe
Wow.
maybe that's
Did you get a
cocky.
5?
Yeah, I got a 5. But
See,
maybe
that just proves my theory
but
that
but
if
then
you
like
really tried.
but then like for me, it's honestly hard to find that level of like motivation or like concentration. Like I can't focus nearly as well as I could like back then. Like maybe I have like ADD or ADHD now or something. I have no idea.
Even if you tried. I
Ah,
just feel like I just feel like do you
okay,
have you do
I,
have
I
a men
I
no,
think I
go ahead.
try. Yeah, I think I try like really hard when it's something like I'm really like passionate about. Like whenever it's like sports, like I'm very competitive, so it's like I'm gonna want to like, train to get better or practice to get
Mhm,
better. So right now the flavor of the month is like golf. And
mhm.
it's like I'm not a great golfer. Like I'll be completely honest. Like but then at the same time it's like, oh, I know that there's a lot of room for improvement.
See, and that's crazy to me because right now in this conversation, I can't even tell if you're honestly telling me you're not good or if it's you, if that's you just being too hard on yourself.
No, I'm really bad. Like I play and I shoot like on a good day, like high 90. Like
That's amazing.
no, it's not. Like when
Never shot under like 200.
uh, wait, you go?
Yeah, I'm Korean, dude. Sorry, not the stereotype.
No, come on. Like I feel like in like 50 years you're gonna just be cycling around all those Eva beach courses like all the other like,
Oh
Korean like
yeah, dude,
grandparents and
100%.
stuff.
In my yeah, and like
Yeah. They get all mad when like you're slow and it's like they're all drunk and everything. You can tell they're all having a good time. They're drunk, they're drinking, they're smoking cigars, they're
they
like
got
all
way too much
laughing and
sunblock
everything.
on.
Yeah, they got sunblock on, they got like the neck guard and everything, like that giant like, hooded cap thing.
Yeah, with a mosquito net over it.
Yeah, long sleeve shirts, wearing gloves on both hands, pants, like all the skin covered up, huge sunglasses. Yeah.
Not 100% sure they're human because there's just like zero human features peeping through the clothes they're wearing.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Like, what do you really shoot? Like, have you played on any real courses?
Yeah, I played a full 18 holes
Which
probably.
course?
I've done Hawaii Kai, I've done Pearl, and I've done Bayview.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go to Bayview on Saturday, but then
Holy
like,
smokes. Dude, Bayview's front nine it's pretty fun. It's actually pretty like it's not super hard, so it's like kind of fun because it's like very possible to do a good like have a good score. But
mhm.
yo, Bayview's back nine, yo, is like the devil's badonkadonk. Like the you're like his what? Um hit the very last hole, like the 18th hole, you have to hit the ball like maybe
over the
like a
marsh.
hundred. Yes, like
Yeah.
140 yards of just straight non. If you go in, you're a lost child, and you're sent up to Jupiter. Like you will never be found.
Yeah. And then sometimes when I play, like I do no drops, so I have to re-hit.
Oh, Mulligan, the Mulligan
No,
gang.
no, no mulligans. You take the penalty. And
Oh,
then
I see, I see.
yeah, so like you say you hit one out of bounds and yeah, gotta tee off again. That's like your third stroke already.
See, that's such a you thing, all or nothing with you.
No, like because I want to shoot under 80, under 70, under
That's pretty
60. No,
crazy. I know two guys that shoot under or shoot an average 70, and they're like everyone in that friend group is like, yeah, that guy's good. Like nobody disputes it.
yeah, like I mean, well, my family I think has some pretty decent golfers. Like I probably can't golf with them until like I start averaging at least under 85.
I just,
Yeah. Because
mulligan.
like because then like if you have I mean I get it like if you have one person that's like you know really checking out every single blade of grass on the entire course, right? It's gonna take a lot longer. It's like I don't know, like whenever I hate waiting for like the parties in front of us, to be honest. Like I get so cold and then like yeah, it just like throws me off my game. But then like if I can finish like a round of 18 in like 2.5 hours or so, like that's
Dude,
pretty
that's when you
good.
swing your arm over your head and you just tell them, "Go first, go first." You're just waiting like the whole night, and before you notice, you're only on the 10th hole, and the whole golf course is starting to shut down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody that like golfs with me knows that like I always joke around about dropping balls on them, like
Oh,
parties. Of
very
course, it's a
kind of you,
joke.
sir.
It's a joke. Like, yeah, I make bad jokes too. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
no worries. I know I'm not strangers to these facts.
yeah, yeah. You've been around me long enough, but like it's like off-putting because like when I meet new people, like I don't like to have to feel like, oh, I have to behave because like I want them to like me or something, which goes back to your other point, like, oh, if there's a girl you like do you lift the same way? But
Yeah.
I mean, like I feel like before I used to be more I used to care more about what other people thought about me.
Mm.
But like I don't know, as of late meeting like the past like few years or so, like I
Last
stopped
week.
yeah, like like a minute ago, like I don't care as much about what people say to me or like think about me. Like I mean like yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't really want to tell this. I'm not ready to tell this story yet. But
Mm.
yeah, one of these days I'll definitely tell you and off air and everything. Just yeah, not ready
If we
to.
get 10K subscribers by tomorrow, David will tell this story.
I am running a giveaway, but like it's for fun, to be honest. Like I just wanted to like give something to like my listeners.
Yeah, that's super
Yeah.
cool. I mean,
Yeah. And then I wanted to like pitch do you know who Michael Matsuoka is? He's like a year younger than us. And Richie
oh,
Gabers.
isn't
Wealthy.
smart. Oh,
Have you
no.
seen their
Isn't he dating?
brand?
Yeah. He's
Yeah. Wow,
yeah, yeah.
we're just exposing everybody's
I'm
personal
so
life.
sorry. But is that not like aren't they like married? So like it's pretty okay.
I mean, they've been together since high school, like I guess like high
Yeah,
school
yeah.
sweethearts still exist and everything, knock
Yeah.
on wood. I hope I didn't jinx anything for them or anything. But
Yeah,
like
I love Tran. Yeah, what
yeah.
about Michael?
Yeah, like so they have that he has a brand, right, with like Richie.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so like I'm doing it with them. Like I figured like, oh, I'll buy like a few of their products to give away to like
That's pretty
listeners and
cool.
stuff.
I like that, it's full circle. Just help
Yeah.
support a friend
Yeah.
and, you know,
Because I
support
mean,
your own
I
business.
really enjoyed my podcast with them, like finding out about what they're about and everything. It's like, yeah, they're just some guys that want to make, spread good vibes out into the world. Get
Oh,
people,
that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So it's like, okay, yeah, I can stand by this. Maybe who knows? Maybe one day they'll get big enough where they can like sponsor me in particular.
Hint, hint, wink, wink,
Shout out,
nudge,
yeah,
nudge.
yeah. I mean, like
Man, I love wealthy.
yeah, no, they're cool guys, so like I just wanted to like help, get their brand out there and everything. And
that's very
like some
fine
of,
with me.
some of like their shirts and stuff are pretty cool, and it's like,
No,
yeah,
yeah, they have a great design. It's very relevant to the designs that are out right now. So, I
yeah,
want it. It looks good.
yeah. I mean, I originally was gonna have it only on YouTube because yeah, I recently started putting out my podcast out on YouTube, but then it's
Hmm.
like navigating that YouTube algorithm is like really difficult, especially like for like these long form conversations. Like not everybody's gonna want to sit down and listen to Joe Rogan talk for like 3 hours, right? Like
Uh,
I know a lot of
I would
people. I know a
disagree.
lot of people that don't
Yeah.
like his podcasts because they're long. Like, and then like I kind of like want my podcast long because I feel like it helps with the whole authenticity thing. Like it's hard for people to maintain a character longer than a half an hour or so.
No, for sure. And I actually disagree with people who won't watch long podcasts because I don't know where other people are listening to their podcasts, but I have been listening to them on my drives. I live a little further out from town now, so I have a little longer of a drive. And so even if they're really long, I'll listen to whatever how long it takes me to get home and then I'll pause it and then, Apple Music, great system. They know how to like keep where you were and then you just play it again and it's like watching like a I don't know, like a sitcom, couple episodes, I like it. And
That's
especially
great.
if it's on a
That's
topic or person I like.
Yeah. Okay. Side note, like you're like one of the first Koreans that I know that doesn't have a Samsung.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's racist. Nah, nah, nah. Yeah, iPhone, what's up?
Yeah.
I won't
Do you still
lie.
listen? Oh, do you
I
listen to a
I,
lot of music still, or podcasts? Like what percentage would you say your listening time is music and podcasts?
definitely more music.
Mm.
Podcast listening has only been a recent thing. I feel like Ren kind of got me into it more so because he has been listening to probably more podcasts and music recently, and
Which ones does he listen to? I'm kind of curious.
I know that he listens to, I mean, like rolling my eyes at the fact that it's mostly like stock stuff and, the
Oh,
typical what everybody's recently been kind of into. But he listens to a lot of, those podcasts like this one where it's like easy talk. There's no real, excuse
bless
me.
you. COVID. Did you get
Whoa,
vaccinated?
whoa,
No.
sensitive. I haven't. That's the next topic. But yeah, he listens to a lot of these like where it feels like you're hanging out with someone, and like it's always nice too if they're like experts on something and having a casual talk because every third paragraph they'll throw in like knowledge about something that they're an expert on while
Hmm.
also so it's like hanging out with an expert and
Yeah, you should turn him on to my podcast. Like my first episode was with a friend of mine who's a material chemist.
what is that?
So like what she does is like she's like a person that makes like future like materials that they like send to like space and stuff like that. Like an
Oh,
engineer.
oh,
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah, that was like well received by a lot of my friends that are into like sciencey things. And like it wasn't too technical. She did a pretty good job of like, keeping it for the lay people like us.
That's good. I mean, Ren has a friend in Boston who's going to he studies like monkeys' brains or whatever, and he's like the complete opposite. He talks super smart because he's just super smart and doesn't realize that everyone else in the room doesn't understand what a like some 20-word description of the monkey's brain is about and I'll be like, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, and he won't even realize that he's talking so smart because he's just that smart that that's all he knows how to talk.
Yeah, like that's like one thing I realized too. It's like you have to be able to share, like you have to be able to break things down
Mm.
and into like digestible, like I guess like packets, like to be a good communicator. Because what I realized is that like there's not a lot of good communicators around me. Like that's what this podcast is kind of showing me.
Ooh,
Like
just throwing everyone under the bus.
no, but like what I mean is that like you always have people trying to speak over each other. You have people like, you know, you can obviously tell that they didn't hear what the other person said. Like they're so like concerned about, oh, what am I gonna say next or something, you know? Like yeah, like
Do that. I won't
yeah,
lie.
there's not a lot of like listening or like comprehending. And it's like whether most of the time it's like the listener's fault, but you know, there are instances like what you just explained where I feel like it is the speaker's like, you know, responsibility to be the better communicator.
There's no point in being smart. I was going somewhere with this. I'm trying to be Rapi Kapoor.
Who
You know
that?
who that is? You know that guy who writes like poems and like every Tumblr girl used to like repost his stuff or Instagram. I don't know.
What's a
Anyways,
poem?
um, there's
Haiku?
no point in being smart in Korea if you don't speak Korean. Is that a good quote? You get it? You get what I'm trying to say? You
Do
picking
they
up what I'm
speak
putting
do
down?
they only speak Korean in Korea? Can you not make it with English?
Are you not getting my quote, my inspirational quote right now? I'm trying to be a role model. You get my metaphor? You picking up what I'm putting down, my man? Like
Obviously not.
like I'm trying to say there's no point in being a genius. This is turning into like how stupid is Sharon?
No, it's like so funny because like you just pause like right there. There's no point in being a genius. All right, got it.
No, there's no point in us sending a guy to cure a disease in Korea if he can't speak Korean.
No, we're just gonna let them die or something. Jeez.
I'm trying to say that if you can't explain like something genius and smart that you think everybody should understand and you're not good at explaining, then there's no point in you even knowing it. You know what I mean? Like there's no point in being smart if in Korea if you can't speak Korean.
All right, no, I respect that you double down. Like because you double down, I get it.
Do you get it? Or
Yeah,
are you just
I was
no?
just giving you a hard time. Don't
I
worry
feel
about
like
it.
you just saying that because you're like, God, if I don't tell her that I get it, that she's gonna try again, and we don't have that time for that shit right now.
No, we got all the time in the world. Like, I mean, we
Oh
got all the
my
time
God.
like you have. Like, this is exactly how I like to spend my evenings, to be honest. Like, you know, just hanging out
Oh.
with friends, like just talking about like random Koreans.
Oh. P.S. Everybody who's watching, this podcast took like 18 rain checks before it actually happened.
And it wasn't literal rain check
Uh,
because last week
yeah.
Wednesday's like storm with all the
Oh my
lightning and
gosh,
thunder.
dude. I was working a little later than normal um on Thursday when the flash flood happened, and I was out on Macaulay and King. Macaulay King is where my shop is. Come stop by. On the sidewalk, and the street on Macaulay and King is like significantly lower than like the ledge of the sidewalk. I was standing on the sidewalk and the water was like a third up my calf. Like it was like one giant like you know that scene in Jumanji where like the house starts flooding and like the water's like running down the stairs.
I got a life hack for you.
What?
Just get a canoe or snow or surfboard.
Or put on my tea leaf skirt and my coconut
Yeah,
bra and just
just
dude,
surf down King Street.
it was pretty gnarly. Like, and you know what's sad is all the shops on King Street um had a little bit of water get a little bit to a medium a bit to there's one store that like had to rip up their entire flooring because of the water damage.
Mm.
But that all happened and the rain it was only 15 minutes and it caused like so much hundreds of dollars worth of damage and it was just like that's so insane to me like 15 minutes you blink and like the store is flooded or Someone's car is floating down King Street.
It's a boat.
David, this is a serious conversation.
You know how hard it is for me to be serious like nowadays? Like I've been serious so long, like, through life, and I'm just like, I feel like that's not really me all the time.
This is true. Side
Yeah.
note, will people be seeing my face?
No, not yet. I'm not supporting video podcasts yet, but
Oh, awesome.
yeah. So next time, maybe when you're on, like you'll be a video podcast. Actually, what I'm trying to do is like set up a little like in person like studio to
That's
have
not COVID
podcasts.
friendly, sir. I'm sorry. We're still in a platypus
I'll
right
do
now.
the local COVID screening.
You didn't catch my joke.
It's not COVID friendly.
No, I said we're still in the middle of a platypus.
Oh, I missed that platypus part. See, poor listener. Yeah, there goes David.
You literally were like pooping on people who aren't great listeners
Yeah.
and
Platypus. No. I don't think it was platypus. I don't think we're talking about the right thing. I think we're looking for like
what are you
pasta or something.
Dude, wait, what? Dude, this is why you need a TikTok. I guarantee you all your viewers know what I'm talking about, and you're the only one who's not getting this reference.
Okay. All right. Somebody's just gonna have to like, link me the video or something.
On Facebook. He only uses Facebook or MSN Messenger. He's still
No, I'm still aiming.
Yeah.
No, I think AIM got shut down actually.
Asian boy 808.
No, that was not mine.
What was yours?
Mine was just like my name, David Rocky 808. So lame.
Dude, so boring. Why do I feel like I remember your aim was like, did it have like a baseball, or I feel like
Maybe
your profile pic. Were there profile pics back then? I can't even remember.
I think maybe there was like a stock image you could choose as your icon. Maybe.
And yours was a baseball or like a baseball bat.
Yeah, it's highly likely. Like, what was your name?
Dude, ready for this?
All right.
So the reason why I said Asian boy because
you're Asian girl.
No, not Asian. It was AZN.
Because obviously can't spell.
And then it was girly, but instead of an I, it was a U because we're individuals.
Because we're
and
cool.
Then when I first signed on for AIM, there already what existed in AZN girly. So I created AZN girly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's crazy. For some reason, I always thought you had like something different. Was that really it? I don't know. I feel like maybe I might have just like added like a note or something and be like, oh, that's Sharon, because everybody had some really wild like names.
Yeah, mine was Asian girly for a pretty long time. Like I think even when I had MySpace, like in the top left corner, like it said like Asian girly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like as if anybody cared.
I think we should bring back MySpace. Like
I agree.
I think the world is a lot easier when I knew who my top 8, best friends were.
I agree. I miss Tom.
Tom. Yeah, what is Tom up to?
Tom, what you doing, my friend? Tom is probably sitting in like a Bahama shack being fanned by his he probably sold MySpace at the perfect time. I mean, there was no way he was going to survive against Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook came out of nowhere and then
it did.
It just dominated. I don't know.
Bring back MySpace or bring back Zanga or bring back Tumblr.
I never used Tumblr.
You didn't use Tumblr. You don't use TikTok. You're unrelatable, my man.
Like even like Twitter, it's just those social medias. Just gotta start boycotting or something.
Oh, I just realized no Twitter.
I mean, I do have a Twitter, but like I kind of just like use it for news. Like, what crazy stuff is going on in the world today.
I don't have a Twitter, but I did have a Tumblr and I do have a TikTok.
I think Twitter is the most toxic like social media platform that I've ever been on.
Toxic?
Yeah, like All
I
you
like
ever
this
see,
tea theme we're going with, by the way,
yeah,
but go ahead.
like everything you see, or everything I see on Twitter is like, people mad about something.
Isn't that literally like every Facebook group on Facebook? Like, is moms mad about this,
I
dad's
don't
upset
okay.
about that?
I don't really use Facebook anymore. Like I still use it for the messenger aspect, but like I don't really post or anything on like Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I still get notifications about like somebody. You don't hear that, do you?
Hear what?
My computer keeps notifying me about something.
Oh, no, no, no.
Uh, I get notifications about somebody's birthday being like in 2 days or something like that. And I'll look at the name and I'll be like, who even is that? Like, who is, I don't know, like Elmo? I don't know this Elmo. Dude, did I not used to call you Elmo?
Yeah, I think you did. I don't no, you used to call me like Derek or something.
No.
Like like who's this bitch that doesn't know my name?
No, there's no way I called you Derek. That's just okay. Can I? Oh my god, that's literally me just being like, damn it. I know his name starts with a D. I'm just gonna shoot one out there and hope I get somewhere close. No, I swear, I don't know why this just triggered in
No,
me.
no, no. Yeah, you used to call me Elmo, I think, or maybe you called yourself Elmo. I think there was like a yeah. I think maybe you went through an Elmo phase. I just I don't remember much about like middle school or high school, to be honest.
You think
Like
you're just too traumatized?
maybe no, I'm maybe not.
Just all those Yu-Gi-Oh games got to your
all
head.
these all these like David's traumas just get exposed in this episode, I guess. No, but I don't know. Like I just don't really trust my memory because like there's been a few instances where I think like a event or something went this way, but like other people will say no, it went like a completely different way. And
Oh
it's
my
like
god,
who's
is it
right?
you too? I do that all the time
Oh
too.
shit. I was like talking about like silencing notifications and there goes my phone buzzing on my desk.
I know he lectured me. I was like, "Oh, can you make sure we're about to take the SATs? Can you make sure your phone is off?" And
Yeah.
no. Oh my God, that's so weird. I don't know why I like I literally feel like I opened some like random box that was like sitting in the attic of my brain. I have like a distinct memory of me calling you Elmo in middle school, and I think that was your like nickname that I used to call you, and I have no freaking idea why.
I feel like I had a lot. I feel like a lot of people called me like, a lot of things over the years. But yeah, that does.
Were we really good friends in middle school? I feel like we were
I
pretty
feel like we were.
close.
Yeah, I feel like we were pretty close in middle school.
What
Like I
class
think
did we
so.
had that made us so close? I feel like we had a class together. Was it Cogbill?
I had Cogbill seventh grade. I think
I
it
feel like I
was
had
fourth
Cogbill sixth
period.
grade. Oh my God. The fact that you even think you might know what period you had him is
Yeah, I think
frightening.
because math was 3, reading was 2.
Why do you know this? Do you know your
Uh,
periods for every year you've ever had?
I used to. I used to have really good memory.
That kind of scares me.
Oh.
I can't even remember like the thoughts I had this morning, let alone what period math was in the seventh grade.
Honestly, like I could just be like, naming random
Oh,
periods and like
you're doing that thing again where you're just making up facts when you
no,
don't
no,
even.
no. I'm pretty sure, yeah, because like I had Miss Honda for reading, then I'd go next door to Sugita for math, and then I think from math I'd go to Hogbill for science, and then from there I would go to okay, no, I know social studies was period 7.
Maybe we had Shimomai together because we went
Yeah,
to
that's
close up to.
possible. Yeah, that's
Because I don't know
possible.
why, but I remember you a lot in close up. So maybe we were in the same class.
Yeah, because I had well, close up was 8th grade, and I had Yang for social studies.
Oh, I didn't have Yang. No. Wait, who was the teacher? You remember the math teacher, Mr. Souza?
I didn't have Sousa.
But do you remember where his class was upstairs on the
Yeah, it's like
corner?
in the corner, right
Yeah,
next to
okay.
Sugita's class, or she was Sugita at the time.
Was that a social studies teacher?
I thought he was a math teacher.
Sugita?
Yeah, the she was like a younger lady, like a new
No, no,
grad.
no. So, okay, look at your screen. So this is Sousa's class, and then
Yeah.
there's a hallway, and there's a hallway here because he was at the corner. Who was
Uh-huh.
up here at the end of this corner? You
The
know, she
the
was a
the
was
far
that Shimomai?
yeah, the corner was Shimomai.
I was in her class when I went to close up. You were in
I mean,
Yang's class?
she was like the person that like was running it, but then like I'm
No,
pretty
I
sure
was
we went
in
to
her class.
really. I thought we went to
Yeah.
close up as in eighth grade. Was it seventh grade? I think it was
Oh,
eighth grade.
I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, I don't see like that's why I don't trust my memories. It's like it's just so long ago, and it's like I feel like I remember some things, but like what if I'm just fabricating it?
You think that that's normal? I feel like I do that too sometimes
Yeah,
though because I'm
and
like,
like you just convince yourself that no, like it for sure happened this way, but it's like oh, you really don't know.
yeah, I do that a lot actually. Ren always calls me out on it because we'll argue and I'll be like, "No, the last time we argued about steak." And he'll be like, "No, it was chicken." And I'll be like, "No, mother, it was steak." And he'll be like, "Remember this happened, this happened, this happened." And then we argued about chicken. I'm like, "Oh shit, it was chicken. Why did I think?" And I was so like convinced that I was sure it was steak. Like it's like the same thing.
Yeah, I don't. I think because I think when you recall memories, you're not recalling the actual memory. I think you're recalling the last time you recalled that memory.
Oh dude, oh my god, that's some inception kind stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're saying like I'm not pulling up that date, I'm pulling up the last time I thought about that date.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
think
god.
that's that's what one of my advisors said when we were
It's
talking
like
about
playing
memory.
telephone with your memory. Like
Yeah.
your
That's
last time. Oh
and it
my
was like
god.
yeah, and it's like ever since I learned that I really don't trust my memory anymore.
Dude, you've just totally messed me up. I now will also have issues and need to see a therapist. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's kind of scary. Oh my gosh, I kind of am questioning all my memories now. David,
Yeah. I mean, I question all my memories. Sorry for like infecting your mind with like a mind virus, the David mind virus.
this is how you know I'm a narcissist because all I could think about now was maybe David thinks that all my life I've been nice because it's just false memories he's created.
Could be. You could have like been like my bully or something in middle
Yeah,
school
maybe
or something.
Elmo wasn't a
Like
nice and endearing thing.
yeah,
It was like,
it was like you're such a baby or something, or like you're like a puppet. I don't know.
uh,
I always thought Elmo had a really irritating voice.
that's so rude. I follow Elmo on TikTok.
Oh, like I don't know, like it's like that high squeaky voice. It's like really like you couldn't have had like a different voice for that character.
That's like all my friends, they always do like a imitation of Mickey and they're like, "Ho ho, I'm Mickey." And I'm like, he sounds like, why does he sound
Like the
like
South Park version of Mickey.
okay, that's just my rendition of him. Like, oh man, can you edit that out? I'm actually really embarrassed that I actually tried to do the
That was great. That was great. Like that was so
oh
fun. Like we both started laughing because of it.
there's but I've always thought like Mickey sounds like he moved here in third grade with his first gen immigrant parents from like a third world country and then learn English and then learn English while trying to like be in movies and that's why his voice is like, you know, he doesn't talk like the normal person and he's just like, I get that he's a character, but why is his voice so, I guess it's memorable.
Yeah. It's just something that like sticks in your mind, I guess. I was like, oh yeah, that's Mickey Mouse's voice. Oh yeah, that's Elmo's voice.
This is true. Like Winnie the
Yeah.
Pooh. I can't emulate. I won't try to emulate it. Winnie the Pooh's voice.
I don't recall what Pooh sounds like. Can you
I almost, I almost gave in. I almost tried to do a.
No, but really, like, okay, yeah, I think I remember Pooh. Like, he had like a very slow, but not
This is
Eeyore slow.
the memory thing makes me think of what's that thing? The Mandela
Um,
effect.
yeah, that's one name for it. So it's like the Bernstein Bears. Like, how do you remember the Bernstein Bears was like
Oh,
spelled?
burn EI.
Steen, Steen or Stain?
EI.
Yeah, I remember it as EI as well, but
It's not.
apparently it's AIN, Bernstein.
No, it was ew.
No, I'm not even kidding. Like you can look it up. There's like a lot of like things for like that, you know, what they call the Mandela effect.
Ooh,
There's like
okay,
a lot.
let's look up some and see if we've had
There's
it.
that's like I think yeah, the Bernstein Bears is like a big one. Another big one is the Monopoly Man. Some people remember him with a monocle, or
I
they
don't
think they remember him with a monocle.
I don't remember him with a but I am an avid lover of Monopoly, so that might be why. Like it's always been in
Yeah.
my life. It's not like something I stopped playing and I'm trying to remember. I've just
Yeah. And then there's like the crazy conspiracies like out there where it's like, oh, maybe it's like, you know, two, you know, timelines like, you know, intersecting or something. Not to sound like crazy or anything. Oh yeah, I had a shower thought the other day since you know we're talking about ideas and stuff like that. I
yeah.
realized that like, oh, if I spent my entire life thinking about like ideas, like you know, like anything, you know, like I realized that oh, there was probably somebody in history that like thought about that idea before.
I I've just failed as the listener portion of this podcast because dude, one of the Mandela effects is dude, do you remember the peanut butter as Jif or Jiffy?
I thought it was always GIF.
I thought it was Jiffy.
Oh, I don't know. That's like the red, blue, and green icon or something,
Yeah,
right?
with the blue cap.
Yeah,
No, is that
not
Skippy?
blue. It's red.
Is it not Skippy? Is it Skip?
No, I think it's Skippy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bruno Mars said smoother than a fresh jar of Skippy. I'm too hot. Hot damn.
What is that iconic thing that Darth Vader says to Luke?
No, I am your father.
No, I
I don't know. Luke. I don't. Is it Luke? I don't think it's Luke. I am your father though.
Whoa, that's kind of crazy you said that because dude, I think I have a virus on my computer. I keep getting like these like ads for spamware. Um
Oh,
it says a lot of people remember hearing Luke, I am your father, but he
I don't
actually
think
just
it's.
says I am your father. I remember
Yeah,
him saying Luke,
I
although
think
I
I thought he said no. I am your father. I never thought he said Luke.
your own Mandela effect all by
Yeah.
yourself.
You know what's like really funny? I remember like was it junior year when like people take physics in high school? Yeah, it is junior year. I remember like it used to be yeah, like our teacher, what was her name? Don't remember her name. But it used to be like ladies, it would just be like boys, girls, and like David or something. Because like she would have like questions on the board and like multiple choice questions. Who thinks it's A? And then like there'd be times where I'm like the only one guess I'm the only one choosing an
I had
answer.
physics with you?
No, I don't know if it was physics, but I don't know if
Oh.
we had physics together, but
No, it was Miss Lee. It was AP Chem.
Chem. No, Chem was like a completely different like yeah, animal. But
I don't remember who was our physics teacher.
it was that lady on the bottom corner. That's who I had. Next to Mr. Kawano's class, I think. On the far corner, underneath of Akumine's class.
Was she not our freshman biology teacher, Miss
I had
Poo?
Matsuzaki for freshman year.
Oh my god, dude. My brain is like throbbing from me trying to remember
Everything. high school in the past. High school, middle
I
school.
was just gonna say our physics teacher, but yeah, sure, everything.
Yeah. Oh, what is her name? I all I know is that she didn't take her husband's name after marriage.
Oh my gosh. Ow. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There's like this fuzzy picture of a woman in a purple dress in my head.
I mean, I know exactly what she looks like. I just can't think of her name. Like I see her face in my like mind. I just can't remember her name.
Oh, do you miss her, David?
No, it's just like really funny that it would just be boys, girls, and like David, and then like
Oh,
there'd be
that's
time,
actually pretty
and
mean.
then it used to be like, oh, David has no friends as like a joke because like yeah.
I don't remember.
Uh,
Honestly, not to make myself sound any stupider than I already do, but I don't even remember taking a physics class.
oh,
what, what is physics?
Jesus. You know, like
What was
gravity, like you know, dropping an apple from like the second story or something
Why do I
off your
feel like I
balcony.
did that in a biology class?
I don't know. I know that they did the egg drop thing, like where you're supposed to like build like a contraption that's supposed to prevent an egg from cracking
Oh my
on landing.
gosh. Anybody who's had, if some anybody's listening who had physics with me and David, can you please text us right now and
Yeah.
tell us who our physics teacher was?
Yeah,
Wait,
I
what was your
remember.
shower thought?
So my shower thought was that like, oh, if I could spend the rest of my life just thinking of ideas, and then like I just realized that in terms of like the amount of like ideas that have ever been thought by humans, like it wouldn't even come close to like that total number.
Why would you say that?
I don't know.
My
I
brain
think that's
already hurts.
I don't know.
You
It's
know,
just like an idea that I had the other day.
that's like one of those ideas in movies where like somebody thinks of that and their brain just explodes.
Oh.
Like it's like trying to like yeah, I mean, why did you even think of that?
I don't know. I just call it an active imagination.
Jeez, way too active of an
Yeah.
imagination. Maybe you do have focus issues.
Yeah. Like it's so hard to like concentrate. Like right now I'm like in the process of writing my thesis, and to be honest, like sometimes it's hard to just sit down and like, you know, take care of like the graph that I want to do or like table that I'm working on or something. Like I'll sit there and I'll literally stare at like my computer screen for like half an hour, and like I might not necessarily be doing it like work, but then like when I'm working, like I'm flowing, like it's going smooth, like I'm boogieing.
Ew, you did not just say you're
Yeah,
boogieing.
throw it back to them 80s.
Um,
I have a lot of
yeah.
older listeners, that's why.
Ooh.
Yeah, some sugar mamas, send them my way. No, I'm just kidding.
Just kidding in the send them your way or just kidding in like
No, I'm not. I'm
Jesus.
not looking for any dates with anybody at the moment.
Oh, that's an interesting topic. Let's talk love, David.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about
All right. All right. Let's. Okay. You can
what's
interview
your
me.
type?
What's my type? What do you, okay, what do you mean by what's your type?
Oh my God. This is why you're not on a date with a girl right now and you're talking to me.
My
Don't be
type?
that guy that's like, would you rather eat your boogers or eat your poop? And you'd be like,
Oh,
I mean, but clarify what. I'm like, that's not the point of the game. You
okay.
just
Well,
say,
I have a lot of friends that refuse to play that game with me. Would you rather?
I know, I can tell. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're like, what kind of poop is it? Is it like,
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go into like that far. It's like it can be whatever poop you want. Poop is poop.
all right, anyways, forget about the poop. What's your
Okay.
type?
What's my type? Um, I like girls that are I honestly like Asian girls, like, you know, not trying to sound like, you know, I'm like have yellow fever or anything. Is it possible for Asian guys to have yellow fever?
No, I think it's just a preference, but I mean,
Why is it
like,
called yellow fever if it's a white guy or like a black guy liking like an Asian? Like anybody else liking an Asian, they call it yellow fever.
I think it's because, I mean, that's an issue that is currently being discussed, which is a good thing because it has been a problem. Like being super serious right now is like the, I don't know the official word for it, but fetishizing Asian girls. You know what I mean? Like making them
Uh,
into more of an object that you need to acquire and like turns you on instead of like actual just human beings that happen to be Asian, you know?
well, I mean, I guess like I can see that, but what I think is more concerning to me is that like it's just women in general that are objectified.
Oh yeah, I mean that's been like the
Like
topic of the century, you
like
know?
like I don't like to think it's only Asians. I mean, like I see it everywhere, and like everybody's claiming that it's that, but like what I'm saying is like I don't know. Like I'm not saying
Yeah,
yes it is or no it's not. I'm just saying I don't know. And like
right. Like you need to do your own
before,
more
and I
research
feel
or
like yeah, like when I see a lot of comments and stuff now, or like posts on Instagram or Twitter or whatnot, like I feel like that's part of the outrage culture. It's like I want to figure out all of the details of a situation first, where as compared to like, oh, it seems this way, I'm gonna take it for face value and just say, that's my opinion.
I 100% agree. That's the same mentality as read the article, not the headline, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like reading the article is a little iffy. Like for now, like nowadays when I consume news, I like to consume one left-leaning source and one right-leaning source because what I find is like the truth is somewhere in the middle.
right. But I think right now the situations that are outraging people has been mainly like especially with like since we came off of like fetishizing Asian women, it's kind of, you know, obviously coming from recent news that's happened in the mainland.
Mhm.
Um that situation comes from a story that lives have been lost. I
Mhm.
don't think you can I don't think that you can say that that's an the anger coming that from that is from outrage culture or whatever. Like people dying is outrageous no matter what. Like
Oh no, yeah, like I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
any untimely death is definitely a tragedy.
Yeah, yeah. Like
And
that's not outrage
yeah.
culture. I get that like maybe you're referring to maybe the reason why these people lost their lives and like how accurate news is portraying it, but
Mhm.
like if you just take facts and it's like, you know, there were certain type of people that were the majority of who lost their lives, I do think that you cannot say that there wasn't something along those lines being targeted, you know?
Uh, I mean, yeah, I totally get that perspective, but like at the end of the day, like my like opinion on that guy that did that like atrocity is that he's just like a bad person. Like he's just a shitty human being.
Mm,
And like I think I don't know if people actively go out and search for like particular groups of people. Like
mm,
I'm not ready to label everybody like, oh, or like any crimes against Asians as like hate crimes or anything. Like
mm,
it could just be like a shitty person and that's just the situation. Because like in what I saw with that story is like when they interviewed the guy, like he claims that it wasn't racially like motivated, yet like a lot of like the news sources and like people online are trying to make that claim.
mm.
And it's
I
like and it's like okay, like I understand where those people are coming from, like it certainly looks that way, but then like you also have to consider that person that actually did you know the deed or whatever, like what was his motivation.
yes, I you know what's crazy is just yesterday, I was saying the same exact things you were saying, where I was like, honestly, to me, it just seems like this guy went to a massage parlor. Some girl called his wee wee too small, and he got mad, and then he went to whatever the closest place, like untargeted, and
Mm,
just shot the place up because he was mad about one situation where somebody called his wee wee small, and he
mm,
was like, anyone who does the same profession or you know, whatever, I'm gonna take them out, you know, because it did seem
mm,
like he did target like massage parlors, right? Like, because he
Yeah.
went to two different ones in two different locations. So it's not like he went to Alabama Street and was like this grocery store and then the store right next door. Like he
Uh-huh.
went intentionally to the same exact kind of
Mm-hmm.
business. And I was like, that's my mentality I went to. And I actually messaged, I don't do this normally because I think everyone is entitled to how they feel and approach a situation. And I still think
Mm-hmm.
that. But I would message her and I was like, hey, I'm equally as outraged. But what I had pointed out to her was you're reposting things even though it's a minor detail, and I do know that in the big scheme of how 8 families have lost someone they can never see again, if you portray one small little wrong detail that proves that you never actually did your own research and you're just regurgitating headlines, you're not helping the cause. So her
Yeah.
thing was that she had posted 8 Asian women killed by white terrorists. That was what she posted. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, you obviously didn't read the head. You obviously didn't read any articles because it wasn't 8 Asian women. There's actually a man. Not only was there a man, but it was a white man and it was a white woman. Like only 6 of the 8 were actually Asian women.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's why I went to like, hey, maybe it was just he was pissed at massage parlors, and maybe
Yeah.
he didn't he it had nothing to do with Asian. But the more I talk to people about it, which is like also like why I feel like I love my job too, I talk about it openly. I'm like, I don't know shit. This is
Mm-hmm.
what I think right now. So you
Mm-hmm.
tell me what you think, because there's 100% possibility that what you tell me is 100% true, and I would rather hear it than not. And I'm not going to get offended by it. I'm not going to get upset by it, because in like, once again, that whole like we're a speck in the universe, you're going to leave my chair and there's a good chance I'm never going to see your ass again. Like it
Yeah.
really doesn't mean what it doesn't matter how upset you make me if you say something I don't like, cuz
And I respect that a lot about you, to be honest, because like the way I like to see ideas like clothing, like you should be allowed to, in a sense, like, change your clothes, right?
yeah, and
Like you
try on
should,
whatever you want.
yeah, you should be able to, in a sense, like have different ideas and change your ideas. Like I think your ideas should always be under like scrutiny. And then like
Yes.
you should always, whenever there's like a new idea that comes along, like you should you should actually like try to like consider it, like
Yes.
like even try to defend like an opposing idea, and then if it still falls short to what your current ideas are, then then you can be critical of it and like not, like, in a sense, like have that idea. But like the problem that I see a lot of times too is that a lot of people, like, they allow their ideas to become part of their identity.
Right. They let it define them, and starts becoming cemented into who they are, which kind of goes back into like you're not leaving a passageway for evolution. You are now becoming this rigid, cold person who is, just like dead set on proving other people wrong instead
Yeah.
of, yeah, I
like
agree.
like
But anyways,
honestly,
just to
like,
finish my thought
oh
before
yeah,
like I forget, I just want to
okay.
say like with that whole situation is how I originally thought. And I talked to a lot of people. And if you think about the fact that you can say that it is true that he targeted a massage parlor, right? Like two
Hmm.
different ones.
Hmm.
When you think about massage parlor, to most people, the ethnicity you correlate with a massage parlor is Asian girls, Asian sex workers. And in that aspect, you have to kind of be able to say, like, it is a little targeted because he knew who was going to be in there. He knew what kind of people were in there. He didn't
Hmm.
go to like Skid Row where you could find any kind of people and just shoot up the street over there. There's a lot of sex workers over there, like if he was mad at sex workers, he could have gone there. He targeted specifically massage parlors, which there is a distinct demographic there.
Hmm. I mean, granted, like I don't know like the city of Atlanta all
Yes,
that well.
right.
Yeah, and then it's just that, like, when you have the words straight from like the horse's mouth, like it's just
Mm,
hard to try to find reasons for it when he's like telling you the reason of it. Like that's where I'm critical of it. Like, I mean, like
Yeah.
I totally understand like everything you just said, and like maybe deep down there was like a racial motivation,
Hmm.
but then like it just appeared to me that no, like he is definitely a little or a lot of bit like mentally ill. Like
No,
he's
I think that's a really good insight into the situation, because the majority, which I am included in, are, like you said, we're so angry at what's
mhm,
happening right now and so angry with what happened, that if we hyper focus on the fact, like, this is like, let's say I hyper focus on the fact that I'm convinced now and becoming that rigid person that's cold and just wants to prove people wrong that this guy was a racist terrorist against Asian women. What if there's a 1% chance that that wasn't the motive and there was something else? And if we had
mhm,
just listened and learned from this guy, we can prevent another shooting from happening by understanding that, oh, there's white people who want to shoot up people because they don't like daffodils in the front door, and we didn't realize that that was what triggered him. But I
mhm,
think I'm willing to accept that that is also a possibility, but also keeping in the back of my mind that also my reasoning was also a possibility too, which is good, because I think you
mhm.
need to be there, I need to be there, we all need to be listening. But you were so right in saying, like, the negative in people is being set in your way and not being willing to listen to, god damn it, it was the daffodils, people, like, like the
Yeah.
goddamn daffodils. But all in all, he is a shit human being that doesn't deserve to be breathing one more ounce of air.
Mm,
And justifying, the one thing I will become a cold, rigid human being in is the fact that it was not okay for that police officer to say that, in somewhat way, he was trying to say that this man was throwing a 21-year-old tantrum because he was having a shit day, and saying like
yeah.
he was just having a bad day. Like, that was a shitty thing to say,
Mhm.
especially if I was a family member of the victims and I heard the officer who's on the case to solve the problem said that. I feel like I've already lost,
Mm. I
you
mean,
know?
that's like a very interesting perspective. Like, I don't know if I mean I've told you before, but like I have some experience, in the psychiatric field,
Mm,
and then like a lot of the patients that I worked with were like forensic patients or like patients that like committed crimes or like broke the law. And then like what you come to realize is that like a lot of the time when they, did whatever action, like they weren't necessarily in control. Like it was like the worst like moment of their life where they just in a sense like lost it and like, did something like a lot of them like actually regret like what they did. Like I don't think like people understand that like they're also human, and unfortunately there is like a mental like health aspect of it, and maybe like people are right too, and I think like looking for equality is like a good thing, but like yeah, it's just a crazy situation, like
yeah, it really was. And yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, just we need more people to just love other people. I mean,
yeah.
it's just, when people die, there's kind of something that breaks in people, like, nobody wants to listen to reasoning. And I get it. I get that, like, mental health is just as much of a disease.
Factor or something.
Yeah, and like, just, unhelpable sometimes. But
Hmm.
I hope that it's a factor, it's not a justification. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, totally. Like I totally agree with that. Like and like you said earlier, it's like if you understand why this happened or like what happened in that individual's life to allow him to reach a point where he wants to go somewhere and shoot up the place, like if we can learn about what happened in his life, maybe we can prevent those on that same path from
Yeah,
like
I agree.
carrying out like those type of like things.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the most important, I would say, just because, I mean, you can't, you'll never know. I mean,
Uh,
yeah,
it's
though
great.
that's a hard situation. And I know that everyone's trying their best. And I think the people who are mad are more so mad. Dude, people died. You get mad when
Yeah.
people die. That's end of story. Like, I mean, you can't move on from that without someone getting upset. I mean,
I mean, it's very emotional invoking,
yeah.
like just any negative event like that, and
See,
maybe
this is
calling
what
it a
I'm
negative
talking
event is
about.
like downplaying. But
Like with me and you, we can talk about this kind of stuff and it's functional and there's no hard feelings. It's
hmm
neutral playing fields and it's very open. But like like we talked about, like everyone is just, especially in times right now when there are a lot of issues, like everyone's really sensitive. You think a mother is gonna come sit in my chair and be like talk about like social stuff and political stuff and put their, especially because Hawaii, especially where we live, Hawaii is so tiny. Dude,
hmm
what is the thing that they say like, if you ask someone, if you talk about two people to someone in Hawaii, there's like a good chance that they'll be able to connect their lives back to yours.
yeah, I think in the world, even like there's like 7 degrees of, like, I guess, like relationships where like of somebody through like 7 other people. So like somebody
Really?
who knows
That's
somebody
not
who
a
knows
lot.
somebody who knows somebody. Yeah. So
Okay,
like you
let's try think of something. Someone outrageous.
outrageous, like how, like what kind of person are you looking for? Like a celebrity, a former classmate?
Yeah, like would it like even
Like,
would it even
yeah,
work
to the
for
former classmate,
celebrities?
or celebrities. Yeah, probably. I mean, like, you can take, like, say like Bruno Mars or something. Like, he went to our high school.
I my sister
Was it
my sister went,
classmates?
yeah, she was a freshman when he was a senior.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
so
like,
she used to like sit in the auditorium when he would do like talent show, and she said he was really popular, just like um all the teachers knew that academic wasn't going to be his thing and he was going to be a superstar.
yeah. So
What
like,
must
yeah,
that feel like, yeah, to have like authority at that age tell you, I know you're going to be famous, and just like not just one, not your favorite teacher telling you that, but just everyone telling you that. Do you think it's inevitable that you do become famous?
maybe there is like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Manifesting. I
Oh,
love that
I hate
word.
that word.
I'm into all that shit. Do you see
I
my
hate it. I hate it.
tiger
I
eye
hate it. I hate
bead?
it.
My
No.
tiger eye bead, it protects me.
Is it a
And
real
the
tiger eye?
I mean, goddamn, I hope so. I paid a good penny for it.
Yeah. No, it's just some random bee that looks like a tiger's eye.
um, I love manifesting. Dude, manifesting, you literally said prophesied, prophet. Oh
Well, I
God.
mean, okay, so self-fulfilling prophecy is
Yeah.
it's a psychological term. It's where like if you're told that you're gonna be this, you're more likely to become it. So
Dude,
like
self-fulfilling prophecy is a scientific term for manifesting. You
no, I
literally
mean,
just
what they normally use it for is like, okay, boys versus girls in school. Like, growing up, the stereo, like, it's
oh,
usually aimed toward like
I see.
stereotyping, like, oh, like girls are better at school than guys. So like, because of that, it'll cause girls to, in a sense, like, do better than guys, because
Does
guys,
it
in a
not
sense, will.
also fulfill I want to sound smart. Does it not also like uh categorize what you do when like you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm gonna have a good day, and you repeat it, and then you end up having a good day?
Um, I mean, like, having a positive mindset definitely helps.
Right. That's manifesting, my man.
Well, I mean,
Get
like
with it.
the thing about like I don't like about manifesting is like, oh, you know, in 10 years I'm gonna have X amount of money in my bank account. It's
Uh,
like, yeah, that's all, you know, great that you're making a goal and everything. But what I see online is like a lot of people don't actually make strives toward that
Oh,
goal.
I agree. Okay, that's my take on manifesting. Manifesting is not wish making, okay? Not the same thing. Manifesting is goal setting and like putting your mentality in that space that is already where your path is going. So you better just do everything to get there because that's a reality already in. I don't think it just happens out of nowhere. I don't think it's like magic juju. Like, I'm not saying manifesting as if I'm like rubbing a lamp and if I say like
Mhm.
in 10 years I'm going to be a millionaire. It's
Yeah.
like I'm creating a reality where I am a millionaire in 10 years. So I know the direct path to it because now it's clarified. I'm not going to be a farmer. I'm not going to be an astronaut. I'm going to be a millionaire. So now I
Mm.
take this
It's like
necessary,
focusing your
yeah, like hyper focusing my magnifying glass to kill the ant.
okay,
You know what I mean?
sociopathic tendencies. No, just
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
exactly. I am a
No,
psychopath. I am convinced. I feel like
but
everyone's a psychopath.
yeah, yeah, everybody has the potential, I think. But
Oh, is that truth or is that just what you think?
I think it's what I think. Like, I mean, it's like the whole nature versus like nurture thing, right? Like, I'm sure if there's enough experiences that a person has, you know, it could cause them to have certain like personality disorders. That probably went over your head, but it's fine.
Yeah, too much layman term, please.
Yeah.
That you're like that was
Like
layman.
if you have a hard life, a very traumatic life, and you don't deal with those traumas, it could cause you to adopt certain behaviors that are not that aren't just isn't the best for, you know, society.
Mm,
Yeah.
I- manifesting a bad person.
Yeah, that's like the one, like, I guess, like, gripe that I had against manifesting. Like, it just seems like a lot of people are just like wishing, like, oh,
Yeah,
it'd be great, like, if this were to just, you know, land in my lap or something. But then,
yeah.
like, the
I
another reason why I don't like it is because, like, I don't like to, I don't necessarily live my life like that. Like, I have like a pretty clear cut idea of like my life, of how I think my life will be up until, I think I planned out until about 40 or so now.
Wow, that's a long time.
Well, I mean, not really, because I mean, med school, there's 4 years, and then there's a residency, and then, you know, there's like fellowships and stuff after that. So I'll probably be approaching 40 by then, assuming I get in soon.
Oh, I mean, so this is more career wise.
Or I mean, even like life, like I figured, okay, maybe okay, we can get back into like the what is your type, you know, the David Love hour, I guess. But
Yeah.
then like
Wow, how many topics are we skipping back to?
it's fine. But like it's just, okay, to me, it's like how I live my life is I don't want to die. And then like the way I see it is like, okay, when you die, are you religious? You're
I think
Korean,
so.
yes.
I'm trying to. I'm actually rediscovering myself.
Okay. So like the way I see it is like when you die, you know, like everybody has the idea of like, you know, pearly gates upon entrance into heaven, right? So
Yeah.
like what I the idea I have is that like I forgot which angel is sitting out, it's supposedly sitting outside of like those like gates or whatever.
I feel like
I
it's
think it's like
Gabriel.
Gabriel. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
Gabriel. But like, so what I see, what my idea of like death is like, okay, so you have Gabriel sitting there, and God gave him like a book or like a scroll, a giant never-ending scroll, and then like, so, and it has everybody's name on it, and then it's like, oh, what you could have done. And like, I don't want to be sitting there in that, you know, situation. It's like, oh, you know, David, you could have done all these great things, but, you know, here you are not doing anything, or like, here you are, you kind of wasted your life.
Mm.
Like, yeah, that's like
Are you
my
spiritual?
uh I mean, I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic university, a Jesuit university. I question if that makes sense.
No, I'm the same. I
Yeah,
think
like
I've been
I see
constantly
value
told that.
to it. Like it's just
I agree. I believe that everyone needs faith in something, whether you believe I don't know. I guess I was about to say, even if you believe that you just disappear after you die, like it's just darkness, but I feel like
mhm.
that's not faith. Like that's just, does
That's
that
very.
not?
I mean, that's nihilism. Like where you there's just nothing after death.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah. I mean, I I feel like the good that religion has is that it it sets like a small little like it's like a standard or like a rubric of how you ought to live.
right.
Yeah, like
I agree.
what
And some
morals
kind
or
of,
whatever to have. Yeah.
I, I think I started thinking that because I think at one point, like suicide was a big talk. Oh, not trying to get into this topic, but like suicide was a big talk. But I was just like, I feel like some sort of faith, it doesn't have to be anything specific. Like, I honestly don't have anything specific in mind, but having some sort of faith helps when it feels like every single last drop of everything is complete bullshit. There's that one, no matter how bullshit things get, some sort of faith in something leaves like one light bulb on, you know?
Hmm, that's interesting.
Like no matter how many things go wrong and how many people turn their backs on you and how many failures or like negative things in your perspective just feel like this nothing is worth it anymore, some sort of faith in something will always have a backup generator no matter how many blackouts you have.
That's like very interesting because I feel like I've had some very dark days in the past, and what got me through those days definitely wasn't faith or religion.
What do you feel like it was?
Uh, it was honestly like I what I used to always think was like, oh, there's always somebody out there that has it like, worse than me.
Oh, that's a good
But
one.
then
Like,
I recently found out, or I recently kind of realized that that's not necessarily a healthy coping mechanism, because in a sense that kind of like you kind of ignore whatever happens to you.
right,
You're not really dealing with it.
you're not acknowledging that what is happening to you is just as important and shouldn't be
Ignored.
downgraded
Yeah.
because yeah, I agree. And then later on that comes up again and nothing was fixed because you never faced it.
Yeah. Like I mean, in a sense, yeah, I kind of had to deal with like all that stuff in the past that I in a sense like just like suppressed. And yeah, I can confidently say that I feel like I relived almost every day of my life, like within like the past like, you know, 2 years or so, just through like self-reflection.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I like to I what I would do is like I would just sit there and think, okay, kindergarten, first day of school, and like, like think about like where was I sitting? Like what did I feel? Like and then it's just
Was
reanalyzing
that the
certain
right way to feel?
or like yeah, it's just reanalyzing like it's like you're watching your life from like a third person perspective. Like you're watching a movie and the movie is David's life. And it's like, oh, through adult eyes and with
I feel
like
like
the
you've told me this
experiences that
before.
yeah, with the experiences that I have up until this point, like does how I feel now about that situation, like how much different is it now? Or like how much different does it make me feel now versus how I felt back then?
Oh my gosh, I was just talking about, you know how we were talking about high school sweethearts?
Mm-hmm.
So my theory on why it's so rare that high school sweethearts last into like forever relationships is that reason. Because if you think about who you were 10 years ago, you are not anything close to who you were are now 10 years after. So like in certain situations with high school sweethearts, they're still dating in their head the person 10 years ago, but they're not, and vice versa. They're both dating, thinking they're dating people that aren't even those people anymore. And if
Yeah.
it's the ones that last are the ones that realize that they're not the same people and they're new people and the relationship needs to evolve, but a lot of them don't survive because the David from 10 years ago is not the same David from now.
I know it's a little
Like,
out of order, but what was your first impression of me? Or like, we already kind of like talked about minds of yours.
okay, first of all, I can't remember anything. I'm only this whole like your memory of things is only glimpses of other is fucking with me right now. Sorry, excuse my language.
No, it's
But
fine.
I honestly, right now, all I can remember is that we got along and we were good
Mm.
friends. So I only have positive memories of you. I do kind of feel like I remember you were on the shyer side. Um, or if that's not true, then it was more like you only stuck to people that you were friends with and didn't really like, you weren't like the loud, like go to every group kind of person, unless
No.
I'm not remembering it right, which is
Well, I mean, I,
100%.
I I honestly don't remember how it was like in middle school and like
I,
the first time we met. I
I,
know
re-
that I feel like I'm very different. I was very different in middle school versus high school.
I do know that you're really easy to talk to, so I think you were talkative
Yeah. I think I
because
was
I feel like I was talkative.
yeah, I think I was selective as to who I would like talk to. Like
Yeah,
like if I wasn't interested in you, like I probably wouldn't have like,
yeah.
wanted to get to know you.
I feel like even in high school, we were still pretty good friends. I honestly, like, I'm not saying this. I probably would even say this to Alice. Alice is my best
Hmm.
friend, PS.
Hmm.
To my own best friend, I would probably say, like, I can't remember why or how we were friends, but I feel like me and Alice had a good relationship for most of high school. And
Hmm.
I feel like I remember, like, from middle school, like, me and you were pretty good friends, and we never really, like, it wasn't just like acquaintances, like we were friends.
Yeah, like we definitely like talked a lot.
Yeah,
I
I do feel.
definitely I definitely feel like I told you who I liked whenever I liked a girl during those
Oh, I
times.
do remember this.
Oh, so now you know my type. No, I don't think I don't know if my type has changed over the years, to be honest.
It's pretty much the same. What about like
No.
personality wise?
Uh, somebody that can put up with me, like
That's so, who would know what that even means?
no, the crazy side of me that makes, that tries to be funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that a
Because
new side of you?
no, I feel like it's a side of me that I kind of suppressed for like all the time.
Hmm.
Like I feel like I could have been more expressive like in high school and like, even before that. But yeah, just, life at home was like, really life at home was just like a struggle. And, it's like school was like the escape from it. And it's like the fear of ruining that in
The
a
one
sense. Yeah, the one place that like felt normal.
wasn't home.
Yeah, well, home definitely didn't feel normal, but like I probably stayed on the quieter side because I didn't want to ruin anything in high school.
Well, you did a good job. I can't
Yeah.
remember any negatives about you. Like in high school, I do reference to people that I feel like I would could have uneducatedly assumed that they were like creeps or they were mean or they were
Mhm.
stuck up. And this is all assumptions from like I didn't even get to know them and I just made these, which is like an extreme bitch of me.
Hey guys, just a quick break. I want us to talk about our sponsor of this podcast, Anchor. Anchor is a free all-in-one podcasting suite accessible on any computer or mobile device. I've been getting a lot of questions, honestly, about like how did I start my podcast? And my journey started with me trying to find a software which allowed me to do everything I needed, such as recording and editing. And honestly, like Anchor like went above and beyond that. it allows, or it definitely makes it easy for you to get published on various popular apps such as Spotify and Apple and Google podcasts. And it also helps you get monetized by setting you up with sponsors as your channel or your podcast begins to grow. Even if you're not like a podcast creator, you should definitely download this app, as you can find your favorite podcast and listen to it there, or you can explore and find new podcasts like these. So yeah, download the free Anchor app today from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I don't remember. I honestly don't have any negative memories of you from what I can remember. I do kind of feel like there was like a point in high school that we stopped kind of being as good of friends because we were like rolling with different cliques.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I think,
I'll be honest with you now. Like high school is a very, especially like sophomore and junior years were very rough for me. Yeah, I'll tell you off air. Don't worry.
do you
Yeah,
do you
I'm just not ready to like get it out there. Like eventually, like I'll tell everybody. It's just that like I'll tell like friends from the past, and they'll be like, "Wow, I had no idea that you're going through all of this stuff."
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I will be one of those.
Yeah.
And that's sad once again because we were friends. So I feel like I should have known.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't blame yourself. Like it's partially my fault because like I wasn't really open about like, feelings and emotions back then. Like I kind of in a sense just kept burying it. Like I was just really good at burying like emotions, really good at like, burying like stress and like trauma and everything. Yeah. So like, yeah, don't blame yourself. Like it's crazy. And what disappoints me is that like I'll tell people like, what happened and all the times that, we were friends and on like they had no clue. And like because of it, like, they kind of in a sense like alter how like we interact. And it's like, no, like that's not what I want. It's like, it's important enough for me to tell you after the fact, It's like,
Yeah.
you're obviously
And
a
there
good
was
enough friend or whatever.
And I also assume if people, especially if it was pretty traumatic, if you're at a point where you can neutrally tell the story, you have resolved it on your own to a certain degree. Like, so you're not so fragile that I have to now with this new knowledge have to start be careful not to step on eggshells kind of relationship,
No, yeah, definitely. I don't want anything to change. Like,
Yeah.
to me, it's just like a fact of life. It happened, it sucked, and I'm well
Very
past it.
realist of you.
Past it. It's in the past. The past is the past. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's been a lot of times where like, people will like, my family or like my cousins or whatever will do something, or like friends will do something, and like I'll be like not very happy about it, but like I'll get over it because it's like, oh, what's done is done. There's no point in getting mad about like what's done is done. Like there's nothing I can do to undo whatever was done. But then moving forward, it's like, oh, like if somebody did something to me, like how do we move forward? Like how does our friendship move forward from like whatever it is like somebody did to me or something? Yeah, I try not to dwell on the past. Like,
we'll talk in the chair.
Yeah, the chair. I don't know. Like this might be too spicy for the chair, to be honest.
Ooh, dude, too spicy for the chair. The chair gets pretty spicy, man. This better be some like ghost pepper kind stuff.
Oh yeah, it's Pepper X, or I think the hot pepper now is Apollo peppers.
Gosh, they just keep coming up with all these disgusting peppers. I'm like, after a certain amount of spicy, do you even want to eat it? It's just drink some Clorox. Like just
It doesn't hit the same. Jeez.
Dude, it's like you can't even taste anything. We bought that like the Hot Ones last DAP sauce. Yo, I thought I saw Jesus for 3 seconds after I ate that. I was like crying unintentionally.
Which last DAP was it? There's I think 3 iterations of it.
Probably the first version.
Oh, so that's like the most mild of the 3.
Oh man. Oh, I will say you can taste it. Like it's tasty, but it's definitely like even we've had very COVID safely some friends over and they've tried it and like they can handle spicy. Like Ren eats that fire chicken noodle thing that everyone was eating at one point and thought was spicy. He eats that
Mm.
for like just as regular ramen. Like he loves that. And
Oh,
even
I
he
was
thought
doing that too. That's crazy.
that sauce was spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, because then yeah, I used to like subscribe to those Hot Ones boxes, and then I got
Really?
yeah, I used to. So
Did you get the bomb?
yeah, I have the bomb right now.
What do you think?
It's I have the second version of the bomb, not the original. It's
Is it
hot.
as
It's my
dude,
favorite.
everyone dies
It's
on that
it's
one.
my favorite. It's my favorite sauce to bring the Korean barbecue.
Ew, something's wrong with your
No, because like
your
I really like jalapenos, but sometimes it's not spicy enough.
oh man, you really like spicy. I,
Yeah.
as a Korean, fun fact, I can't handle very spicy. Like kimchi is
Mm,
probably my limit.
but
And I don't really consider kimchi spicy either.
but yeah, the third like last dab, like the way I describe it to people is you know like those like fighter jets. You know how like you have like the exhaust coming out of like the back. So like
Okay.
picture yourself standing right behind it with your mouth open, and that's a
Wow.
good that's how hot I think it
I
is.
don't ever want that in a 25-mile radius of my body.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that
hot.
sounds horrible.
Yeah,
Can you even
it's hot.
taste anything?
Um yeah, there's like subtle sweetness. Um it's a little earthy, but other than that, it's just hot. Hot AF. Yeah.
What did you think of me in high school?
What I think of you? I don't know. I just thought you were like a good friend. Like, yeah, I considered you like one of like the good friends from high
Eh,
school. To be honest, there's not
saying
many.
a lot coming from you, my man.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I guess I'm weird like that. Like, I like talking to people, but like where I draw the line of like acquaintance and friend is like,
Pretty
yeah,
thick.
it's a pretty high wall you gotta climb. You know, somehow you got past it pretty fast. Like,
Ninja,
yeah.
that's why.
Yeah, I just don't know. But yeah, we also did like, 2 hours
Yeah.
and it's late and I don't want to like keep you and everything. We can save the love life talk to for
Ooh,
another time.
episode 2.
Yeah, we'll have you back and we can talk about more spicy stuff.
Other than sauce.